Les, you're gonna kill me. So that question, when I answer that question, my Skype just cut off.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm so
I mean, because I hate interviews, so this is good because I feel comfortable with you, even though I'm a little anxious nonetheless. But.
Hey kings and queens, welcome back to my channel. I just want to start off by saying thank you so much for all the support that you all have shown me with this new series. It's been really exciting and a really great journey so far. I'm hoping to do more interviews like this in the future. So this installment of Girl Talk is pretty exciting. I had the chance to sit down with Leslie Mullin, the founder of Dirty Mermaid Beauty. I actually met Leslie through a mutual friend, and she is probably the first person I met when I moved to New York. You know, I was definitely a fish out of water, bright-eyed, didn't really know a lot, and Leslie was there to help me get acclimated and really just help me settle in. And I am so excited for you guys to hear about Leslie's skincare line called Dirty Mermaid Beauty. I've used some of the products. It's an amazing line. She's come such a long way. She's come so far, and I cannot wait for you guys to hear about her journey on becoming the business owner that she is today. I don't want to take up too much time with this intro, so let's just get right into the interview. Don't forget to like and subscribe below. So, what inspired you to start Dirty Mermaid, and would you consider it a beauty and a wellness brand?
So, let's go back to 2015. That's when I kind of came up with the idea, and I would call it more of a wellness brand than a beauty brand. In hindsight, the full name is Dirty Mermaid Beauty. Beauty is kind of an add-on word because the domain Dirty Mermaid was taken. So the full name is Dirty Mermaid Beauty. But it is more of a wellness and lifestyle brand. And I started it more as and my background is packaging design and graphic design, and I had wanted to get into more fashion and beauty packaging design, but because I didn't have any experience, I had to create this portfolio project. No one would hire me. And then I ended up thinking, well, why don't I just launch this as a business? These are products that I would actually use, and they approach beauty in a more holistic wellness way. I had graduated college, and we were kind of coming out of that recession. I was in the Bay at the time, and we were coming out of that 2008 recession, still at the tail end of that. And I had been looking for a job here in the Bay after school, and I was having a hard time finding internships, even paid internships. So I was like, let me try New York. And I had always, wanted to go to New York, and I thought, oh, it's gonna be like Sex in the City, and I'm really glad it wasn't. But there was that, that was kind of the appeal of New York, the fashion and the pace, and at that time, that's really what I wanted. So 2012, packed up, moved with a friend and another friend, and we all crammed into an apartment together, and so that was 2012.
So then you started the brand out of your apartment. How are you mixing products and chemicals? How did that work?
Well, what's nice with my line, it's pretty much, think of it like baking. You're basically like a beauty chef, and so anything you would use for baking, you end up making my types of products. So you have your mixing bowls, your teaspoons, and your mixing, and a lot of it was practice and trying products out on friends. It was fun memories, and I'm glad now I have a little bit more dedicated space for that. I have my own little room now where I'm currently at. So
Just to talk about wellness for a bit, being that we're in this pandemic, it's just been, obviously it's been horrible in a lot of ways for different people. but it's also forced us to push sort of like the pause button and really examine ourselves and our lives and, things that we want for ourselves and different goals that we're trying to make. So why do you think wellness is so important right now?
Well, this year has been so hard on everyone, and it's really, even myself in running a business this year has kind of given me a new sense of perspective. Definitely, I slowed down a lot. It's been, just time to step back, and, our mental health is very fragile. Like, we have like a roller coaster of an election, and it's wellness. I think people are realizing you need to make time for that. Even when you're running in that hamster wheel, like, you need the time to stop back and take care of yourself is when you feel like you don't have the time. I myself have been feeling very fragile this year, and I have taken a step back from posting a lot on social media, and we're all feeling it's been a hard year for everyone, and you're not seeing family, you're not doing things that you would normally do. The point is the wellness comes from within, and I'm creating products to help. They're tools to help you on your wellness journey, but the wellness ultimately comes from within you, so you don't have to think about products like X, Y, and Z, and then wellness is a holistic journey, and you get to be at the helm of the ship on that journey. And so taking the time, it's really I'm actually grateful for this year. It's given me a pause to not be go go go. I've done a lot less this year, and it's reminded me to prioritize my health and wellness, and taking the time to do that. I think especially in New York, you can easily get on that hamster wheel, or personally, when I lived in New York, I just felt like I was treading water or either drowning, and then I would get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm treading water again. And so the time when you feel like that, that's the time to stop, take a break, draw yourself a bath, or whatever works for you. Yoga, Pilates, I don't know. I haven't really exercised this year.
You and me, that makes two of us.
Well, the point is, do slow down. You don't have to subscribe to everyone else's version of wellness or self-care. It comes from within you. You have everything you need within you, and there are tools out there that you can use for that.
What are some of your favorite products from the line that you use, for your own personal wellness? Because I know you love tubs.
Yeah.
You love baths.
I really love baths, and actually starting my business in New York was funny because most people don't have bathtubs in New York. You have a bathtub.
I know.
Have you used it?
I have not used my bathtub. This is and as crazy as that, I'm not a bath person, but I know that if I set it up the right way, my own personal spa, that I would love it more. And I told myself I was going to do that this year, get a little eucalyptus plant, because everyone says that you should put that in your shower and it feels like a spa. But I need to do that.
And now's the time. We're not going out these days, so now's the time to make your home your own little spa. And but yeah, even if you don't have a bathtub, I tell people doing a foot soak with the salt, that also gives you the same benefit, because it's the same kind of slow down ritual. Yeah, a lot of people in New York don't have baths, and so I would do pop-ups, and I didn't always do great at events. They're like, oh, I don't have a bath, or I have all these roommates, and I don't really want to. You don't have the leisure to take a bath with, if you have roommates, because they're always like, I need to get in. Since I was a little girl, I would always make a nice, pretty bath, put out candles, put out rose petals. Even as a 10, 12-year-old girl, I would be making these really pretty baths, and now it's nice to make the product that you put in the bath too. My favorite product, it does depend on the time of year, but right now with winter and just your skin gets kind of dry with the radiator and like just the heat, my skin gets really dry. So I really love the bath fizzies, which are a base of coconut milk and coconut oil. So they're really hydrating. And I also have a new product, the Bath Truffles, which I think I sent you back when I first made them. Did I?
Yes, I love them. I used them on my feet. They made my feet so soft because in New York we walk everywhere, and like my feet were just done. And then when I used it, my feet felt so soft. That was like the first time I had given myself like a pedicure in the apartment, and it was worth it.
Yes, it's all about just do it. We have to kind of DIY a lot these days, so definitely giving yourself at-home pedicures, and those are really nice. They're made with cocoa butter and coconut butter, so again, really hydrating, and like they're these little hearts, and so just one little heart goes a long way. Like you want to use one at a time, but those have been kind of my go-to during the winter, and I love them because they're, I've always loved bath bombs, but I've kind of felt like now I'm 33, almost 34, and I don't really want like some like hot pink sparkly bath bomb. Like I kind of wanted something a little more elevated and a little less fragrant. Like I use all essential oils and there's no synthetic dyes.
I know for me personally, the older I get, the more aware I am of like what I want to put like in my body, on my body, like, different like beauty products. I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, oh wow, like is that like a dark circle or what is that? And it's like, do you feel like your age has changed the way you look at certain like products and wellness in general?
As I'm growing older, I am starting to get wrinkles. I do have the gray hairs coming in. It's not to the point where I want to start dyeing my hair, but those things are coming around. And I think ultimately, like, be mindful of what you're putting on your body because it should be something you would eat. Because our skin is our largest organ. So I try to just use as much as I can raw ingredients that are something that you could cook with.
I want to talk about the name Dirty Mermaid because I love it so much. I love everything about it. And I know you explained it to me like when I first moved to New York and you were telling me like the background and stuff, but can you tell people like where'd you got the name from, Dirty Mermaid?
Yes. So kind of what we're talking about right now, dirty is like, the earth. So Dirty Mermaid, I wanted to have like all seaweed-based products and, like coconut milk and coconut oil and like just kind of this beachy theme. And seaweed was at the heart of it because seaweed is a very, underrated beauty item. I think people don't realize a beauty ingredient. And so dirt is like, from the earth and just kind of reclaiming and honoring getting dirty. And like as a kid, I used to go out and like rub dirt on this is actually the first product I ever made. Back in the day as a kid, I grew up in the mountain. I was born in the Bay and I grew up in the mountains. And we have like a lot of mosquitoes up there. And so I would like with my sister would get like dirt and like get it wet and rub it on our skin as like repellent. They didn't want to bite you when we had dirt rubbed all over you. The whole name Dirty Mermaid Beauty, it took me a while to trademark it because there was like a lot of other brands that were using beauty or mermaid, and so it was actually a 3-year process to get trademarked and kind of expensive, but it was worth it to finally get the trademark approved.
When you talk about like trademarks and like LLCs and things like that, like, did you know about that before starting like Dirty Mermaid, or were you just kind of like, I have this really cool idea, I want to make the products? Like, is that something that you learned as you go?
It is like I did study business in school, but really I've leaned more on my design background, and I those are like real, the nitty gritty when you get into starting a business. Like I had to learn that as I went along, and I had to find a lawyer, and like you find allies or people that can help you along the way to but yeah, I didn't know any of that when I was, I had some background, but you figure it out as you go along. And I did not know I still don't know what I'm doing. So.
And I love that you didn't let that scare you off, though.
Yeah.
Like you just found the people who could help you.
And there's always people who are willing to help. Like, there's always someone who's willing to help give you a little nudge.
So were there any other like roadblocks that you faced when starting Dirty Mermaid?
The biggest roadblock has been myself getting in my own way. And so I finally feel like, I'm still getting in my own way to this day. Acknowledging that I am my biggest roadblock has helped me clear the path a little bit easier.
And do you feel like it's giving you like more confidence as well?
Yeah, I think a lot of people have talked about imposter syndrome, or but the fact that I'm finally like, okay, I'm the one stopping myself from succeeding, or comparing myself to other people, it's finally acknowledging that and realizing that I have the power to change that perception. That has been huge.
What advice would you give to women who are afraid to strike out on their own, and they want to start their own businesses, or they just don't know where to start?
Yeah, so if you want to, it depends. Like, think about, even if you don't know what you want to do, but you think you want to do something, like, even now, like, I still have my day job, and which is good because I need health insurance. We're in a pandemic. Definitely keep your day job, but still, like, on your, hey, even if you're at work, start exploring things that you might want to create and develop, and things that you're passionate about. And sometimes you're like, I'm not passionate about anything. You'll find it. You just have to go out there and try and get out of your own way. Like, I have to get out of my own way and stop a lot of negative self-talk, and just try. And you will fail, and that's okay. Like, there will be moments of failure and like redirecting, and that's good. That's part of the process.
And it's like, it's so hard. And we talk about this all the time, Les. Like, it's so hard for me personally to stay like consistent as well. You know what I mean? And I feel like, especially, maybe not so much with our generation. Well, actually, probably, but a lot more so too with Gen Z. It's like everybody wants that, like, that instant gratification where it's like they'll try something and for a couple of months, and then it's like it doesn't go well, and they're like, you know what, like, actually, like, I give up. This is obviously not for me. I feel like it's okay to have like your hobby also be your passion. But it's like, if you really enjoy like what you're doing, like, why not just, stick with it and be consistent? What are your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. I don't know of any overnight success. I don't know of any, and if you guys know of an overnight success, tell me, because I'd be curious. You need to define what success means for you.
It's like, I feel like, because even though it's like, I'm not necessarily like, the goal is to obviously get monetized and then, make money. And maybe, it'll be great, like, if I wouldn't have to do my 9 to 5, but it's like, I'm in a situation where it's like, I can do my 9 to 5 and do this as well. You know what I mean? I guess whatever we want to call this. But but I don't know, like, I really like enjoy like what I do.
And this is better than scrolling Tinder.
It is.
the thing, like, why not? Like, we are in a pandemic. A lot of people are kind of taking a break from that romantic part of their lives, perhaps. And like, why not use this time to explore about what makes you passionate and find out how you want to show up authentically in the world, you know, rather than, you know, don't, like, I've been reading a lot of articles like women are afraid, or like, oh, like I'm losing this valuable time to find a partner or whatnot. But like, why not use this time to find out what makes you really passionate and how you want to show up authentically in the world?
Like, what was your proudest moment?
So I mentioned this before, like me learning to get out of my own way, but also, you know, I'm not really on track to be a millionaire or anything, but these like little moments of like when I did move back to California from New York, my business paid for that. And that was huge for me. Like, you know, finally, like at the end of a year when I had enough money left to buy a laptop or to, you know, to help fund the move back. Like that was a tiny victory, but I did feel proud because I was like, oh, this is starting to sustain itself and help me, you know, and I've been busting my ass, you know, doing all these side jobs, and it was nice to like, oh, like my business can help me move, and, you know, oh, I can get a new laptop finally after 8 years, 10 years.
That's huge.
Yeah, they're like little, but it's like, okay, this is going in the right direction. Well, I can lean on my business a little bit, and that's a good feeling when you can kind of lean on something you've created.
How do you manage to stay motivated and find depth in like what you do?
I mean, again, going back to this year, this has been one of the most challenging years for everyone, I would say. And it's kind of given me a new sense of purpose. Like, oh yeah, like you can take a pretty bath and feel better, but no, it's the act of caring for yourself and taking the time to care for yourself and creating rituals that care for yourself, and they should be weekly, whatever they are, bath or no bath, you know, make sure you're doing rituals. And like for us too, it's been like our little virtual happy hours. Those have been, that to me is a form of self-care.
It's all about like how it makes you feel. So,
and that's the thing. It all goes back to you. Like whatever works for you, you know, we're all different. Like we all have different things that make us feel good. Like not everyone's into taking baths, and I'm totally cool with that. Like maybe you like to take showers, put some eucalyptus in your shower, and that's called a day.
How important is inclusivity in the wellness and beauty industry?
It's very important. Recently, Laura has taken a pledge to allocate 15% of shelf space to Black-owned brands. Be mindful of who's trying to sell you stuff and like what narrative they're telling you. If someone's telling you like, oh, you need to buy this because you need to look like X, Y, and Z, or you need to, like, if someone's ever telling you that you're lacking in something to sell you something, like, I just don't buy. Like, we are enough, and everything you need is within you. And so I think we as consumers, we do need to actively seek out for small brands, Black-owned brands, and we are starting to see major retailers give shelf space to deserving brands that have been overlooked for a very long time. So, like, remember, you do have so much power as a consumer about how you choose to spend your money and where. So, you know, actively seek out small brands, Black-owned brands. And that was a movement started by Aurora James, who is another lady I have a girl crush on.
And do you have any other like news you want to share about like Dirty Mermaid?
Yeah, so this whole time it's been a product-based business, but I'm I'm starting to have like a little backyard secret spa in the back, and I'm excited about that. So it's a physical space. I've set up a little tub from the 1920s, and it doesn't even have real plumbing, and I just fill it up, and you can book a soak, or you can reserve the tub for a photo shoot. So I'm trying to get all set up with Pure Space to do like reserving photo shoots and doing a little backyard spa hang, and I have some friends who are massage therapists, so we've just turned the backyard into a spa, which is nice because it's all open air, and it's something you want to be conscious of during a pandemic, to be outside as much as possible. So it kind of all ironically worked out in that regard, because it's something I had been wanting to do for a while, and the fact that it is outside kind of worked out. And in the Bay, as you know, we have beautiful weather pretty much all the time, all year round. So that'll be a year-round thing once this next shelter in place
is over.
But yeah,
thank you so much. Like you've like, I feel like you've been like one of my biggest cheerleaders, and like one of the first people I've met when I moved to New York. You were always so supportive of me and my journey, and I consider you an ally. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.